There was a major explosion at the Ducati headquarters. The boss finally revealed a closely guarded secret plan, a breakthrough specifically prepared for Marc Márquez for the 2026 season. This move could shake up the MotoGP power map and change the course of the 8-time champion's career. Is the MotoGP world ready for a surprise this big? Let's discuss it. In preparation for the 2026 season, Ducati is perfecting the Desmosedici GP26 package to stay competitive amid fierce competition. However, a far more ambitious project has been underway since the beginning of the year, the Desmosedici GP27, a new generation motorcycle that will be Ducati's main weapon in the 850cc era. MotoGP will enter a revolutionary phase in 2027 when engine regulations are reduced to 850 cc. Many analysts predict this change will reshuffle the manufacturer hierarchy, forcing everyone to start almost from scratch. Ducati didn't wait for the regulations to be implemented. They chose to move faster than any rival. In recent months, Ducati engineers have introduced radical aerodynamic concepts, new generation electronic controls, and a complete revision of the chassis geometry. This groundwork has been specifically prepared to form the basis of the GP27 project, touted as the most innovative platform since the 2015 Desmosedici. Development is officially scheduled to begin in April 2026 under the leadership of legendary test rider Michele Pirro, who has been involved in almost every major Ducati evolution. 2 months later, the baton was passed to World Superbike WSBK champion Nicolo Bulega, marking the introduction of a new, more aggressive perspective in the world of superbikes. Bulega's role goes beyond that of an additional test rider. It's a clear indication that Ducati is planning for the future, not only in MotoGP, but also in their entire racing ecosystem, from WSBK to their young rider development program. Ducati wants to ensure one thing: when the 850cc era begins, they won't just be ready, they'll be leading. Marc Márquez's contract with Ducati expires at the end of the 2026 season. Before anyone could speculate, Marc sent the Borgo Panigale factory the strongest signal possible. I want to see the direction of the new bike's development before deciding on the future. That short sentence immediately shook the paddock. It wasn't a casual comment, it was an ultimatum from an 8-time world champion. The implication was clear. If Ducati failed to provide Marquez with a competitive bike for the new era, they risked losing their biggest asset just as the new MotoGP era began. To many analysts, the GP27 was more than just an engineering project or an adaptation to the 850cc regulations. It was a gamble on the future. Every aerodynamic detail, every engine mapping, and every radical idea being tested behind closed doors at Maranello and Borgo Panigale carried the same indirect message to the superstar. We're building your future. Stay with us. A year earlier, Marc Márquez's season was shaken by a violent incident at Mandalika when he was hit by Marco Bezzecchi. The crash ruined his race that day and changed the rhythm of the season finale. He suffered a fractured shoulder, forcing him to miss the final 4 races, even though he had already secured the 2025 world title long before the season ended. However, absence was no advantage for Marquez. He wasn't the type of rider who could sit idly by and watch races from home. He felt like a caged tiger, watching his opponents race while unable to intervene. Now, after 2 months of intensive rehabilitation filled with strength training, mobility therapy, and rigorous physical adjustments, the champion has finally spoken. His tone was loud, firm, and determined. My shoulder is ready, riders are animals in cages, and I'm finally out again. His medical team said Marquez's recovery was faster than expected. Meanwhile, Ducati believes his fighting spirit is sharper than ever. He's hungrier, more focused, and more dangerous. The 2026 MotoGP season will begin on March 1st in Thailand. Many believe Marquez's return is not just a comeback, but also a warning to his rivals that the king has returned to rule the world once again. In the second half of the 2025 season, a surprising change emerged from an unexpected direction. Aprilia. The team had begun the season seemingly mediocre and largely out of the spotlight, but they suddenly transformed into a force to be reckoned with in the closing races. They rebuilt the RSGP from the ground up with a completely revised engine, enhanced aero for stability and top speed, a revised braking system for greater consistency, and a reworked electronics package for smoother, more accurate responses. The results of these major changes were immediately apparent. Performance surged dramatically in both single lap speed and race pace, leaving many analysts stunned. Many agreed that, if this trend continued, Aprilia would pose the greatest threat to Ducati's dominance in the 2026 season. This prompted Gigi Dall'Igna to speak out. He subtly but clearly emphasised that Marc Márquez needed to be 100% fit before the Sepang test. For Ducati, Marquez's technical input was crucial in determining the direction of the bike's development amidst increasingly aggressive rivals. From inside the Ducati garage, Davide Tardozzi revealed something that had only been discussed in whispers. The Ducati course director admitted that Marquez's achievements throughout the 2025 season were about more than statistics, lap times, and impressive overtaking manoeuvres. For Tardozzi, Marquez has transcended the definition of a modern racer. He's not just a rider, he's a man. Tardozzi emphasised that what he saw in Marc wasn't just speed, but also maturity and rare leadership qualities rarely seen in the MotoGP paddock. Inside the garage, Marquez displayed a character that made the entire team work more harmoniously. He treated each mechanic with respect, offered technical advice in a precise and consistent manner, kept his cool when situations became complex, and took responsibility when mistakes occurred. Furthermore, he motivated the crew without applying emotional pressure, creating a much healthier work environment. Marquez's presence had a domino effect throughout Ducati's structure. Technical data improved due to his precise input, the team atmosphere stabilised under his leadership, and racing strategies became easier to adapt. The winning mentality he instilled slowly spread to the other riders. At the end of his statement, Tardozzi said something that left everyone speechless. "What he's doing to this team, I've never seen before." Amidst Ducati's ambitious plans to dominate the new era of MotoGP, shocking news emerged that the Pertamina Enduro VR46 team was considering switching to Aprilia. According to Italian sources, the relationship between VR46 and Ducati has been strained since Gresini was granted primary satellite team status, leaving VR46 feeling marginalised after years of loyalty. The situation escalated when technical support and factory motorcycle distribution became imbalanced, with VR46 receiving only one of the latest spec bikes. This imbalance rendered their efforts less effective than those of their rivals, and raised significant questions about VR46's future with Ducati. After all the drama, threats, high ambitions, and secret moves by Ducati to retain Marc Márquez amid Aprilia's resurgence and VR46's potential departure, one big question arises. Will Márquez truly believe in Ducati's project for the 850cc era and stay, or will he choose a new, more surprising path? Let us know your thoughts below,